when he tries to attack. So I started looking at the scripture and seeing how he does things, so I don't fall for those schemes. 2 Corinthians 2:11, if you want to follow it in the Bible. And are we going to have it on the screen today? Okay. 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, so that no advantage would be taken of us by Satan, for we are not ignorant of his schemes. The scripture wants us to be intelligent and all these schemes of the Satan to be exposed. We got to look and see what Satan does so we can not be ignorant and fall for the same old thing over and over. I've caught myself saying this, what's wrong with me? Been a Christian, I'm baptized, what's wrong with me? Why did I have that thought? Why did I think that? Why did I act that way? Why did I let myself go there? What's wrong with me? So as I got into Paul and I was reading his words and stuff, and we're going to look at that in just a minute in Romans 7. But right now, let's look at James 1:14. But each one is tempted when he was carried away and enticed by his own lust. Then, when lust has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And when sin is accomplished, it brings forth death. See, man, I didn't like that verse, because I like to blame Satan. I like to blame Satan for what I'm doing. But when you start looking at James, James makes us accountable for our actions. He says it's by our own lust that we fall into temptation sometimes. Those desires of our own inner person, that fight, that inner struggle that we have. And some people say, man, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I'm not say Christian. I've been a Christian for 50 years. But you know, if we're truly honest with ourselves, then we'll admit, man, I've got struggles. I've got temptations that come in my life. And we're going to look at Paul here, one of the greatest apostles. And I think this right here just shows us what struggle is about. Now, so now James, when he's looking here, he's not looking at Satan, but he's looking at the individual. What we do, this internal desire that we have. Now, God does not tempt us. Okay? We're making sure that we all understand that. But during those temptations, what he wants from us is to turn to him to find rescue. To rescue us sometimes from ourselves. Romans 7:15 is where we're going to be at, for just a little bit. Now this is Paul talking. It says, for what I am doing, I do not understand. For I am not practicing what I would like to do, but I am doing the very thing that I hate. But if I do the very thing I do not want to do, I agree with the law, confessing that the law is good. So now no longer am I the one doing it, but sin which dwells in me. For I know that nothing good dwells in me, that is, in my flesh. For the willing is present in me, but the doing of good is not. For the good that I want, I do not do. But I practice the very evil that I do not want. But if I am doing the very things I do not want, I am no longer the one doing it, but sin which dwells in me. I find the principle that evil is present in me, the one who wants to do good. For I am joyfully conquered with the law of God in the inner man. But I see a different law in the members of my body, waging war against the law of my mind and making me a prisoner of the law of sin which is in my member. When you see and think about what Paul done, he gets like credit for, some people give him credit for 16 books of the Bible. And you start looking at the struggle that he's going through. He said, the very things that I hate, I find myself doing. He goes on, he says, I'm a wretched man. The wretched man that I am. He's got this inner struggle. We don't know what the struggle is, but we just know that he's in a battle right now with something. For us, each individual in here, be honest with ourselves. We need to look at ourselves and recognize